Hey everyone, welcome to episode 33 of the Yinzhers podcast. I'm Jordan DeFigio here with my co-hosts Morgan Urtso and Samantha James. We are very sorry that there was no episode last week. Obviously with the Monday night game, it just made things tricky already, and Sam and Morgan were both traveling back home from being in Pittsburgh. So it was a weird week, but we're back now and the Steelers are in the playoffs.
What the hell? Guys.
How?
Pinch me. Someone pinch me. Am I dreaming? Is this a fever dream? Is this a nightmare? Because
yeah, it might be.
because we have to go back to Kansas City. I'm almost speechless. We all know very rarely am I speechless. I'm almost
less than
speechless.
An 8% chance to make the playoffs. Yep. And
well, just like look at all the things that had to happen.
I know.
The Steelers had to win, which we knew was a toss-up to begin with, and it went down to the wire with an overtime win over the Ravens. But then we needed Jacksonville to beat Indianapolis.
And they killed them.
They did. They killed them.
Not and only beat. Like, we're watching this game.
Demolished.
And it was like, I was like, of course. Everyone was tweeting it. And I was getting pissed because I'm like, don't put that negativity out there. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, of course. Of course. Trevor Lawrence would pull off this upset. And then we would lose in poetic fashion to the Ravens. Like, of course, that's how it was going to go down. Thank God it didn't. But, like, that's what it looked like. And those games are always so close between us and the Ravens, like, always. But, I mean.
It was wild. So I got ahead of myself because I was just so excited that we're in the playoffs. And by excited, I mean, like, just totally filled to the tip of my brain with anxiety. But we all were at the Steelers-Browns game on Monday night. And that was pretty wild. That was kind of surreal. Like what an experience that was to be there for Ben's final game at Heinz.
So emotional.
Sam
it's indescribable.
Yeah.
Sam and I had seats right by the tunnel, right? And we were 2 rows up. So we're section 144, row B. It's where they ran out, and it's where Ben met his family right in front of us, literally right in front of us. And then, he's walking around the stadium and just, high-fiving as many people as he can, just like making the rounds, taking it all in. When he sat on that bench and put his head down just to like take a moment, I lost it. Like I knew I was not going to be okay at that game, but that was the thing that just sent me.
Yeah.
It was such an emotional day. It really was.
I've been to a lot of games at Heinz Field, but none like that. The crowd, which they should have been. I mean, I'm so glad that we gave him that send-off. Like, he deserved that. And to go from thank you, Ben, to Cleveland sucks and go home Baker was just like poetic justice.
Right.
Because, it's think about the wild card game last season. Like, that was just a perfect send-off for him.
Yeah, it was something else. Like I recorded all of the team entrance just because I didn't want to miss anything. And there's such a huge difference in the volume of the crowd from everybody else and then Ben. It was just, oh my goodness, I get goosebumps just thinking about it because he really has done it's been a remarkable career for him. And
he's just such a special player. Like he really is. And the majority of all of our lives, he has been the quarterback of our team.
Yeah.
The majority of our lives. And so we look at these situations and everyone's like, oh, you don't remember life between Terry Bradshaw and Ben. Like, you're lucky. I vaguely remember like Tommy Maddox. Like I vaguely remember some of the dark years and okay, what, like, can we not talk about that right now? Like, we're talking about the career of Ben Roethlisberger, and what's been so remarkable with him is he's such a special and unique player. And you saw like the tributes that the Ravens players made to him, like that the Ravens put together a tribute to Big Ben, their greatest rival for the past 18 years, and the part that he played in that rivalry. And when you see that respect from your most hated rival, like Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs saying, like they have the utmost respect for Ben Roethlisberger. Yes, I want to kill him, but the best quote from Terrell Suggs for that entire tribute was him saying, "God may have Ben's soul, but his ass is mine." And I'm like, okay, that just embodies the whole like dramatics of that rivalry.
Mm-hmm. The true rivalry.
The true rivalry.
Yeah.
Because, and you know, that Browns game, that was just, I have no
It was a lot
of
fun.
I really don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to a lot of Steelers games. I tweeted this. I've been to 3 Super Bowls. I've been to AFC championships. I've been to a lot of big Steelers games. And I'm not going to say that was the best game because obviously it wasn't. Like Tampa at the Super Bowl was the best game I've ever seen in my life. But the feeling, like nothing has come close to that. Mm-hmm. Nothing has matched the emotion of that game. It just hasn't. And it was a game against the Browns.
It was just in the air because you knew the significance of what it meant for not just the team, but for the whole fan base. And
true.
Like you said, Ben being the quarterback of this team for 18 years, that's a really long time, long time. And he gave it everything. And so to be able to have that moment with him, and I ended up leaving at halftime because I was like fresh out of quarantine. So I just wasn't feeling super great, but I watched the end on television and just being able to even listening to this seemingly newfound respect that all of the analysts and commentators have for him now that his career has come to a close. Right. It's like, okay, you're a little late to the party, but at the same time, like, finally, thank you. Right. This is a big deal. And he is one of the best to ever do it, not just because of his stats, but because of, again, we've said it so many times, but he's such a unique quarterback in terms of his build and his game plan and his mobility. Like he was a crazy combination of so many different types of quarterback. And he sort of invented his own style of play. And it's just been really fun to watch. And I don't think that there's ever going to be another quarterback like him. Yeah. So we already talked about, obviously, Jacksonville beat Indianapolis, which that, surprisingly enough, wasn't the least probable thing to happen yesterday. What we really, really needed to avoid was the Raiders-Chargers game
ending in
a tie. Yeah. Which, first of all, let's just talk about how stupid it is that ties exist. 1, it's dumb. They shouldn't exist. Abolish the tie. 2, the fact that if they tied, both teams would be in. It takes away all incentive for one team to win over the other. It was so idiotic. And I'm glad that at literally the last moment of overtime, oh man, okay. So the Raiders at one point were up by 15, and they were up by 6, and then they were up by, what was it, like
3?
They were like bouncing around. It went from 12, which felt comfortable, to 15, and that was when things started to shift. Because then the Chargers started coming back.
Because they had to make it look like an actual game. I'm sorry, but like if you're gonna tell me that they didn't have some backdoor deal, that there was no collusion, and the Raiders just were like, fuck you, and decided to win it, you're out of your mind. Because what they could have done is not called timeout, tied, and half the NFL would have been thrilled because we would have been bumped. And
I
they
think that
were
was
guaranteed
totally the plan.
spots. 100%. You can't tell me there was no collusion.
Took that timeout, and then the Raiders were like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, this wasn't our
Exactly.
deal. So then they were like, all right, fuck it. We're going to kick a field goal.
Exactly. And I'm sitting downstairs watching this game, right, with my dad and my boyfriend. And I'm like sitting there pissed because we get home and they're up 12 or whatever they were at the time, 15, I think, right before the alleged fumble that turned out to not be a fumble, whatever that situation was.
Oh, my Lord.
So I go outside to walk Luca and I come back in and I'm like, okay, as long as they don't tie, we're in, but I'm not going to put it past these NFL teams to look at each other and be like, hey, if we tie, we're both in, and collude against the rest of the league, right? And so I'm telling this to my dad and to Jared, and they're looking at me like, Morgan, come on. It's not going to end in a tie. That's not what they did. This game's it's very clearly not going to end in a tie. So they're inching closer, right? And finally they get to overtime, and I'm looking at them. I'm sitting there like, what were you saying? It's not going to end in a tie? What were these two teams not going to do? Did you just tell me it wasn't? There's no way it's going to end in a tie. Really? I sat there the whole time. They're like, Morgan, it's not going to end in a tie. And the only thing I was saying was collusion. I had fans of all teams hitting me up being like, what the hell is this game? Like, is this actually happening? What is this game? And so their argument was, why would they go up 15? Why would he complete that pass? Why would they run for 25 yards there? And I'm like, because they have to make it look real. They can't just lay down and be like, we're just not going to play for 4 quarters. And, they both were warned by the league. I don't know. Maybe a little bit
that
of a
seems more
conspiracy
likely than what happened last night, just being coincidental. And
there's no way.
Yeah, I don't trust Roger Goodell.
No.
As far as I could throw him, which is probably maybe like a foot.
I wouldn't.
He's all about ratings. All about ratings.
Right.
I wouldn't let Roger Goodell babysit my dog. Like, nope. No way.
Get out of here.
No.
Oh my God. It was so stressful and such an unnecessarily long football game. Like, oh my God. Like almost 12:30.
And then I couldn't sleep because my adrenaline was through the freaking roof. And I was like laying in my bed, just like, okay, now what do I do? Like staring at the ceiling, like, okay, this is not going well for me. I can't tweet because I'm still banned from Twitter, as you guys know.
Did y'all see how Steelers fans have been donating to organizations that the Jags work with and organizations that Carlson works with?
Yeah.
Like,
not surprised. Not surprised.
I love it. I think it's wonderful. We always hear about Bills Mafia really stepping up and making contributions to like other teams or, whoever's helping them out. So I love to see Steelers fans doing the same.
It's great. It was great. They deserve it. Thank you for helping us get into the playoffs. The Steelers were, for as much of a mess as it was, they were kissed by the football gods yesterday that just
absolutely
dragged them basically kicking and screaming into the postseason, which is, I mean, it's just prolonging our, whatever this is perpetual state of stress and anger. It
really was the longest day of football ever. It really was.
It was.
And rough. I just can't get over that feeling of like never, usually after a game you feel like, oh, I can calm down, I can feel settled. And the rest of the day, it just felt like a perpetual state of anxiety because I just knew like even the Steelers don't make it easy on us, but you just knew the league wasn't going to make it easy on us either. Yeah. That's what we get. That's what we get.
It is what we get. But at the same time, like, as hard as I've been on the team and on the coaching staff, they fucking somehow found a way to get into the playoffs. Like they did their part, and they looked like garbage at different points, but throughout the year. But I saw they're in the playoffs. They won against the Ravens in Baltimore yesterday, and I feel like historically they just don't play super well against second string quarterbacks. So the fact that they were able to kind of minimize Tyler Huntley's impact, like it felt like a very classic Steelers-Ravens game, which also was just very appropriate since that's Ben's last game against the Ravens. Yeah. So let's kind of dive into it a little bit. What's one thing in particular, or maybe let's talk about a handful of things that stood out to us from the game yesterday. Sam, what were your takeaways that really just kind of like impressed you, surprised you, whatever?
I mean, I think honestly, the switch at center has been huge. I mean, drastic. I don't know why we didn't do that sooner. And maybe it's because we were giving Kendrick Green more time to like get it together. You're a rookie. But I mean, as soon as he started regressing, like that's the first point, I think, for me. Chris Boswell.
Morgan, what about you?
I mean,
Chris.
Obviously, like for me, yesterday was such a defensive statement.
Mm-hmm.
From TJ, Cam, Minka, like the big three we always talk about. But then Arthur Millette yesterday, the way he stepped up, I saw some bad plays from Devin Bush, but I saw some good plays from Devin Bush as well. Like just defensively, what they were able to do. And TJ, tying Strahan's record, potentially after review, beating Strahan's record. That stuff stands out to me against a very good Ravens offense, right? Like even with Tyler Huntley, who should be a starter in the NFL. He should be.
Yeah.
It was just a very good showing from the defense. But the thing that stands out to me the most was just Ben in those moments in the fourth quarter in overtime when he had to come up big. Ray dropping a pass and then coming back and making a play. Najee screwing up, then coming back, making a play. DJ dropping the ball, coming back and making a play. The resiliency of those guys, that is a testament. That is a testament to this team. Like, let's not give them the identity of not a very good football team or, just eked into the playoffs by luck of the draw. Let's not give them that identity because we saw Chase Claypool has made
for Najee,
monumental strides blocking. We saw DJ throw a block. Like these are guys who fought yesterday, fought for their team, fought for Ben. And Ben Roethlisberger, in the moments when it mattered most, was making the plays. He wasn't overthrowing guys. He was getting the ball exactly where it needed to be. He was making the right reads. He was throwing to the right guys. He was trusting the guys who just screwed up. Screwed up.
Right.
Establishing his confidence in them, following through with that. It's a testament to him as a leader, as a quarterback. It's a testament to the team that Mike Tomlin has built because they don't live in their fears, although I'm not going to agree for a split second with the fact that we didn't go for it on 4th and 1, but let's, we're not going to talk about that.
We've talked about that enough this season.
We've talked about it enough. We won. So it was the right decision because we won. So we'll just leave it at that. But just, I think the biggest thing in that game was our big guys, Ben, our offensive players, Boz, our defensive stars really deciding to show up because we have seen them all lay down this year and give up, and they didn't do that. And whether that was for playoffs or for Ben or for just wanting to win what could potentially be the last game of the season, it was just freaking awesome to see against a rival in a rival stadium. It was special.
It was awesome. And you just when you see that they're capable of that, it makes you wonder where that composure has been all season because there were moments where you could flat out say this is not a good football team. They're not good.
We've said it.
Yeah, we did. We said it many times and it was accurate every single time we said it because they were making mistakes. They weren't bouncing back. They were losing their cool. But from the moment overtime started, and I think that just speaks to the amount of last minute game winning drives that Ben has conducted over the course of his career. And even on the sidelines, Cam Hayward, I talked about this a little bit earlier today in something that I wrote, but like you just saw the leaders standing up, stepping up, not just Ben driving and marching the offense down the field, but whenever it looked like there was a potential scuffle that was about to break out on the Steelers sideline between Deontay Johnson and Gene Stone. Cam nipped that in the bud, and other players stepped in too. Like they were like, nope. Cam grabbed him right away, said something to him. And what weeks ago probably would have been like some ridiculous taunting, something unnecessary penalty. Was just, it was a first down because we got the first down and they kept going. And and like you said, the drops, like they rectified that immediately. Like it was unbelievable to see them bounce back like that.
Genuinely, like when we talk about it, that's the thing that gets me the most excited about the future of this team. And it gives me chills almost because we saw last year how the drops really affected some of our receivers. We really, really saw the effects of that. And this year, for them to drop what looked to be an easy pass in a really, really crucial situation and kill drives and see things like that happen. And then yesterday watch this game and see them immediately come back and make up for those mistakes. It's huge. It's huge because even in games previously this season, the Kansas City game comes to mind specifically. It looked like they had just given up on themselves. And then you watch this game yesterday that could have ended so easily in favor of the Ravens. And it didn't because they chose not to give up on themselves. Like they said, okay, I dropped that pass. That's in the past. I can't do anything about it. I'm going to come back and make this play. And they did. And that's the reason we won.
Right. And that's awesome. Like I think I've had a lot of time to process my thoughts about this team and why they've been so frustrating all season. And obviously, yes, I understand that ownership and management and coaching and players would never come right out and say, we're not good.
Right.
And we don't believe that we're good. But if you're going to adamantly stand on, we believe we have what it takes to get the job done, but the performance that you're giving on the field makes it look like you don't believe that, it's a little bit confusing. So the fact that they finally started playing into, hey, we're saying that we believe that we're good and we can win games. Let's play like it. And they really did take care of business. And honestly, like people will point back to the Chiefs game a few weeks ago and say, they blew us out. It's going to happen again. And people will point back to the 2005 playoffs when we went through a revenge tour against the Bengals and against the Colts. It really doesn't matter. All that matters is the game at hand. And I think that this entire season, league-wide, has proven that nobody knows what the fuck is going on.
Nobody at any point in time
that's going to happen.
The Cardinals lost to the Lions. Tampa Bay almost lost to the Jets.
Green Bay lost to the Lions.
Right. Like, it's just, you just not any given Sunday. Okay. Any given Sunday, you just never know what's going to happen in this league.
It's so true. It's so true.
And we will see for sure.
And this year, this particular situation that we are in feels so reminiscent. So reminiscent of 2005. And listen, I'm not saying I'm not saying it ends up that way, but like let's not write this team off yet because if anything, what we saw is resilient guys who want to win and want to win for their quarterback and want to win for their coach. And that's it. And that's what we can chalk it up to. It's very easy to say, like Jordan said, that's such a good point that you made, that it makes us doubt the team when they're saying one thing and then we're seeing another. But when it all kind of comes full circle and it actually looks like they give a shit, it's so much easier to believe that they think that they're a good team, that they believe that they're a good team, they believe in themselves. Yeah. So like, let's continue on that trajectory. Like, at least if you're not going to get the W, I just want to see you try. I just want to see you give a shit.
Goodness, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It makes such a difference.
Yeah. And as fans, we're in it. Like, we're in the dance now. I want to enjoy this week, even if it ends in a loss in Kansas City. I want to enjoy one final week of Ben Roethlisberger being our quarterback. And
we're getting a week that none of us expected.
Yep.
We're getting extra football. Yep. We're getting extra football that no one expected. Like, let's be thankful for it.
Yep.
And that's all that matters. And I want to see him play next week, and I want to see him like just kill it. We'll see.
Do we think that? Okay, let's not make predictions. But what needs to happen against Kansas City? What do the Steelers need to do in order to win this game? Morgan, what do you think?
The focus has got to be on containing the run. It's got to be. Mm-hmm. Even more so, I think, personally, than how we deal with Patrick Mahomes, because they gashed us on the ground. Gashed us. We need to contain the run, have an answer for Tyreek Hill, have an answer for Travis Kelce. And soft zone against Tyreek Hill, it's just not going to work. The thing is it's not a good personnel matchup. It's just not, and there's no way around it. We kind of have to hope that Mahomes has one of his weird off days. Yeah. Because we don't have the personnel to play man against Tyreek Hill. We just don't. And that's fine.
And that's fine. It's okay.
That's fine. We can come up with other ways to make it work. If the pass rush is on, I think it's anyone's game. But containing the run.
The run is going to be huge, because you look at any game this season where the team has had a run. I mean, like at the Chargers game, killed, slaughtered, not even close. Like, well, I guess we started to come back at the end. But again, what were they up 24 to nothing?
The Bengals
they
gashed us on the ground.
They just do. Any team that has a run game just kills us. So if we can't contain the run, we're dead on arrival. Like,
containing the run, and then if we're unable to do that initially, it's making the adjustment, right? So, it's so funny to me how everything, like, it really does come down to how effective our defense is going to be, because we kind of know. I'm not saying our offense is terrible. It's limited. It's limited.
Yep.
Even against a Chiefs defense that, while they have been playing monumentally better than they were originally, it's, still not a prolific defense. So
they're average-ish.
That defense gives our offense a chance. They really do. We have to give their offense no chance. Yeah. We have to, especially
and the offense. Arrowhead. Yeah, the offense is going to need to capitalize
when they can,
and when the defense makes stops, because that's where this team has really struggled in the past couple years with poor play calling and just kind of lack of personnel on the line and injuries to receivers. They'll be gifted the ball by the defense and then do nothing with it.
Over and over again.
I genuinely think, right? If there is no defensive score by this Steelers team on Sunday, we don't win.
Yeah. We don't
win this game. We need to force some turnovers and get in the
capitalize.
End zone.
Yep. Yep. And the Steelers just need to play to their strengths, because they're a decent football team. Like, I don't think, obviously they're the 7th seed. They're not the top tier elite talent in the AFC. Granted, the AFC is
wide open,
pretty weak this year. Yeah. It's not what it was in years past. I think the Super Bowl, honestly, it's going to go to whichever NFC team makes it to the title. But as long as the Steelers can game plan for what they do really well and just ride that the whole game. Like, and I just
and don't
have Najee take it out all the time. Like,
all right.
Yes.
Curls. Like, just like
go to your tight ends.
Yep.
Like, let's do what we know
Yep.
works. Zach Gentry. Let's talk about for a second.
Yeah.
What Zach Gentry has done in the past several weeks. That kid.
It's been impressive.
I had zero expectations for Gentry. I think pretty much everyone did. And he has been not just serviceable, but he has made some huge strides, huge plays for us. To have two not just capable, good tight ends.
Physical tight ends.
Huge for us. It's
Game
huge.
changer.
Let's use them. Use them to our advantage. Let's not get cute with it. Don't overcomplicate stuff.
Yes.
Like Jordan said, play to your strengths. That is the key.
Bring Derek Watt in to block.
Yes, it worked. It worked against the Ravens.
Great.
Like,
yep.
Yeah. Let's utilize these players.
Run that slant with Deontay. The end around with Claypool. The plays that work. Let's do that.
Yeah, and you're right. Like when they try to get cute, that's where it bites them in the ass because they're like, "Oh, hey, they aren't going to see this coming." It's like, "Oh my God, they did. I did. Please, please."
I mean, really, like we know what works and we know what very clearly doesn't.
Yeah. Be smart. Be smart.
Silver platter.
Yep.
Let's go.
It seems so simple, but at the same time, the way that they've looked week to week, sometimes it's like, I think you need to be told this. Like, is anybody telling you to simplify? Because it seems like you're way overthinking it. But I don't know. I don't have any feeling about it one way or the other. I'm not sure what's going to happen. All I know is what I've said. It's just
I just know they're going to stress me out. That's all I know.
That's the guarantee.
Is the only
it's going to be stressful. And we have to wait all freaking Sunday.
Stress.
Death, taxes, and Steelers-induced stress.
Yes.
Yep. Sweats. Oh my goodness. I was sweating.
My toes were sweating. My feet
were so hot.
I was like
in between my fingers.
Literally like I was like, why?
It was not a fun Sunday.
No.
But we did it. Yeah, we did do it. You know what? We get to do it all over again on Sunday night. Oh my God. And we get to listen to freaking Chris Collinsworth. Lord help
At
us.
least on Sunday, we're not relying on anybody else. Like
that
it's
is
only
true.
Us who can let us down.
Yeah, let's look at the bright spots because that is
right.
Yeah.
Once
the game's over, that's it. Yeah.
Another bright spot. Mike Tomlin dancing in Marcus Allen's live after the game.
The cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
They made it into a GIF, and I've been watching it more than I should.
I liked it because I like Coach Tomlin's personality, but it was just another thing that added to my stress. It was like, that you haven't clinched this playoff berth yet, right? Yeah. And the way that they were tweeting after the game, I was like, do you understand that you're not in yet? Like,
no. They didn't.
I know that a tie is very unlikely, but you tied, and that's why you have to hope.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was like, don't let a tie bite us in the ass again. Like, do not let Claypool tweeted, no, not like.
Oh my
this.
God!
Like, everyone was just like bated breath.
I was just on edge. Yeah. Now I love it. But yesterday I was like,
now it's the best thing that's ever happened.
Yesterday I was just like, by the end of the game, I was literally just numb. Like I was like, I can't feel any more emotion. You could run me over with your car and I wouldn't feel anything. Like nothing. I have nothing left to give to this world.
It was a lot. It took a lot out. Very taxing.
It was just, I was done.
Oh, yeah. But at least we do have a week to recover and rev up for it's just going to be all over again. But hopefully we'll get to
season
next Monday, talk again about an upcoming
win
matchup.
and how we can't believe we're here right now.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully.
It could happen. Crazier things have happened. And I think that with the way the Steelers team played yesterday, and even against the Browns too, like, anything's possible.
I'm not writing them off. Like, and if that makes me an idiot, fine. I took not an idiot out of my Twitter bio, so if it makes
there you go.
Must be nice to have one.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're still in the doghouse. That's absurd. That's its own whole episode in the off season. We're gonna have to go into your Twitter saga because we need some therapy over that. I think joint therapy.
Yeah, it'll be very cathartic. We'll do group therapy. It's a great idea.
I like that.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Oh my God. All right, let's wrap this thing up because the Steelers have us in, I don't even know, some
shambles.
Yeah, it's shambles. That's
I could
a really
ramble
good
on
word.
for hours.
Me too. Oh my God.
Shambles, but like happy shambles. What are happy shambles?
Good shambles. Good shambles. But shambles nonetheless. I need to go put myself back together. But it's been real, as always. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, Steeler Nation, for joining us today, whenever you're listening. I don't know. God. Shambles!
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Yinzhers and on Instagram at Yinzhers Official.
And don't forget to subscribe, whether it's on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. We can kick with you every single week. We'll see you next Tuesday for another episode, hopefully a good one, of Yinzhers.